Prabir, I'm reminded of Klaus Schwab and what he talks about in the fourth industrial revolution. He talks about technology, how it's going to really help organizations to get on to the next level of growth. At the same time, as an HR practitioner, we have seen the pandemic and how aspects like compassion, catharsis, and plenty of other new age technologies. So, what do you think? What is more important, high tech or high touch? Or the success depends on balancing both?
So it is a very MBA answer. It is both, right? I mean, the world of either or is dead. It is on the one hand and on the other hand, both, right? You raised a very valid point. Forget for issues of so-called soft, fuzzy HR, warmth. I believe organizational catharsis, and I've written a lot, I tweet a lot about this subject. The need for psychological safety is important if organizations need to reinvent themselves, if organizations need to innovate more, because these are the only ways in which you'll survive. A Me Too organization has lesser chances of success. So you need to innovate. And inherent in innovation is failure. And the question is, some things will not go right. But are you creating a culture or an ecosystem where an individual is willing to stick his or her neck out and ideate, suggest, make an experiment which may fail, right? And while there are many celebrated case studies of companies, again, these are success stories. The question is, why do we talk of successes? Why don't we equally talk of failures? And how do we actually make failures a fulcrum of growth, a fulcrum of celebration, a fulcrum of innovation, a fulcrum for, making it a very so-called free-thinking company? And I think, therefore, HR's role strategically is about creating a design, not just because it will help two people feel good. And many a time, HR thinks right, but does not sell the logic right enough. At the end of the day, when you trace back a successful company, you may or may not give HR the credit because of correlation quantitatively. You may not, but definitely you will not have causality, but you'll have some correlation. And I think it's very important to start helping connect the deeper issues with the financial performance or business performance of the company, because ultimately what people think are what they can touch, feel, and ideate or talk about. What they don't understand enough are all the soft, subtle things which help people put what we call discretionary effort, imaginative effort, in the work. So I think it's very, very critical. It will only get more critical because people will actually have shorter tenures in organizations. They will be spoiled for choice. And I'm talking about talent which creates actually the more disproportionate impact. Because in any company, until 50% of people will be stuck. You're needed to kind of keep it going. But it's the top 10 or 20% which will actually create that big orbit-changing progress. And this will need a very different kind of nuanced support. Support for ideation, failure, experimentation, and all that you talked about. And so catharsis is important. Again, is it HR's job? It's not HR's job. HR's job is actually that of a strategic architect. And you have to move from being just the agony aunt of the company to making a culture and ecosystem where leaders behave, managers behave in that manner. And that is far more difficult. So when I talked a little while ago, HR must shift its focus from doing to getting it done. And doing is easier, getting it done is very difficult. But that is really what will get you your strategic priority and your strategic significance to the agenda of tomorrow.